Manager for Michigan Department of Transportation, Kelby Wallace. Kelby, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Bart. Good afternoon.
Nice to see you. Are the construction crews, are they still at it?
Yeah, we've got a couple projects that are trying to wrap up. This cold weather slows them down a little bit, but it looks like the forecast over the next week or so is going to let some work continue. We got some stuff that's getting close to wrapping up, but we need a few more weeks.
Yeah, you are limited. It's science that controls how late you can work because of what happens with concrete and asphalt. You can't work with it at certain temperatures.
Correct. A lot of that stuff has freezing properties to it, and if things start to freeze, then you don't want to work with it. You don't want to put it down because it won't last. So we're pretty strict on that. So obviously the last couple days when it was below freezing, we weren't able to do some of the work. There's some things that you can still do that doesn't require those types of materials. But like I said, the 7-day forecast looks decent. So we're hoping to get some more of that concrete poured.
Yes, 63 on Saturday, so let's hope. Let's talk about the bridge projects that you have. First downtown, this Cooper Street Bridge over the Grand River.
Looking south here, so that's the entire bridge deck's all poured out. You can see on the right there, they're forming up the railing for the outside railing of the bridge and the railing between the pedestrian path and traffic there. That's on the right-hand side, looking south there. So this actually was taken about 2.5 weeks ago. There's some additional pictures that show a little bit more progress that's happened since then. So here's a picture looking north. You can see the train station in the background there. And then that's the base of the two railings right there. The one on the right is separating pedestrians from traffic, and then the one on the left is just almost outside the picture there. That's kind of the one on the outside of the bridge to protect you from going into the river. So those things are done. We'll put some steel components on top of that to finish out the railing.
With the previous bridge, there really was, I think there was like a tiny sidewalk.
I think it was 3 to 4 foot sidewalk there, and it didn't have any protection separating, traffic from pedestrian traffic.
That'll be a big improvement.
That's, right here's just kind of looking north, again towards the train station, and you can kind of see that we've got everything built underground there, all of our gravel paste, our sand, so we're ready for that concrete paving, and I believe that's actually started to take place since these pictures were taken. So all the underground work's done. And this is looking south. The Consumers Energy parking structure there's on the right. And then you're looking at towards Washington Street there. So we've got most of that already poured. And then we just have to pour a little piece in between what's right at the bottom of the picture and the bridge itself. So the rest of this week we should do this.
Yeah, that last picture, it does appear that you're getting pretty close.
Yeah, that was the railing.
Yeah.
That was just on that picture that kind of shows you. Here's we are getting close. We've got almost all of Cooper Street paved there. Now we're just waiting to do that. And here is a more recent picture on the bridge. You can see we've actually erected some of those steel pieces on the railing there. That's the outside of the railing protecting the pedestrian traffic from falling off into the river. So progress being made, a little bit slow with the snow. Over the weekend and the day Monday.
I was on Airport Road over the weekend, and it's at times a logjam over I-94 because the bridge is under construction, and that's the result of a bridge strike.
Correct. There was a vehicle that was pulling a excavator, and that excavator hit damaged 7 bridge beams. Which deemed it unsafe for traffic. That's kind of when we had to shut it down. And now we've actually are replacing it. And here's a picture. We've got the beams set, and then actually these metal pans are there to keep the concrete from falling down on when we pour it. And then here's a picture underneath that bridge with what we call false decking. This is plywood that's under there to keep materials from falling down on the traffic when we pour the new bridge deck. And actually, they are pouring that bridge deck today out there. So that will be done. There was the equipment that they're going to use, and with the temperatures that were forecasted not be as cold tonight, They ended up pouring that bridge deck today.
Wow.
And so we're on track for a mid-December opening for that bridge. And we're on track for a early December opening for the Cooper Street Bridge. So, we're hoping the temperatures stay moderate, and we'll make those dates. If we get a freezing cold spell, it'll slow those down a little bit.
And then we'll be all done for the season?
Then we'll be all done for the season, right.
But your trucks won't be going too far off, because they'll all be back for next year's bridge project, which
Correct.
will be another bridge over the Grand River.
Correct, over on Lewis Glick, which is also I-94BL. We'll be replacing the bridge deck surface on that. So maybe next month, if you decide to have me back, I'll bring in some of that detour information. We will maintain westbound, I believe, over that bridge at all times, and then we'll detour eastbound.
I heard there's a bridge in Lansing that has a sign that records the number of bridge strikes. It's even, I think, a lower clearance than what we had on Mechanic Street. A viewer sent me something about it.
I think that's Pennsylvania Avenue by Potter Park Zoo. Yeah, they talk about that bridge eating trucks all the time. It eats, They always say that they're usually the U-Haul or the Ryder trucks that maybe are unexperienced drivers, right? And they don't realize how tall their vehicle is because they're renting it, and those are pretty soft compared to a bridge. They're just aluminum framing and stuff like that, so they crunch up pretty easy. But that's I think that's the Pennsylvania Avenue bridge.
Yeah, they look like just tin cans when they
Right.
yeah.
When they hit those things.
So next week is Crash Responder Safety Week. What does that mean?
Right. So there's been a recent law that requires people to slow down 10 miles an hour if they are approaching a crash on the side of a road.
10 miles an hour.
10 miles an hour below the speed limit.
Oh, wow.
Below the posted speed limit,
Okay.
is my understanding. But that applies to a police officer responding to a situation, a fire department, a tow truck, an MDOT or a county worker, or anybody who's there responding. If there's somebody responding with their flashing lights, traffic is, if they're able, they're over to move over on a freeway to get over. Or if it's on a 2-lane roadway where they can't do that, they're supposed to slow down and go at least 10 miles per hour below the speed limit. So just bringing up awareness about that with the weather coming up, the weather approaching us, the winter weather, where there's a few more crashes that happen, and ask people to slow down and get over if they can.
Seems like common sense, but unfortunately, there's some bad apples that it requires a law to keep people safe.
Right.
I was on 94 just north of Detroit toward Port Huron on Sunday with all the snow, and there was a crash after a crash after crash, and I think people were gawking at the crashes as they passed them and created more crashes.
Yeah, we talk about that all
Yeah.
the time. The distracted driving. If people are focusing on the road, they'd see those lights in the crash, and they'd slowly get over and slow down and be safe. But if they're not paying attention, then they don't realize it, and they do something not smart.
Tuesday was a really bad day. We had, surprisingly, because we had the snow Sunday, but it stayed cold. The snow, there was still, I guess, some slick spots on the highways.
Yeah, we had some stuff in Jackson County that came in that wasn't really on the radar. Our maintenance folks kind of pay attention to the radar, the dew point, the temperatures, the pavement temperatures to kind of identify when something's gonna come in or stick to the pavement. And it was a real. We had cold pavement from Sunday and the weekend, where it was below freezing, and then there was a little bit of moisture that came in that wasn't a real big event on the radar. So it came in, and as soon as it did, there was a couple slide-offs, and we had just started to call people in to get some salt on those bridge decks and curves.
Yeah, and it was distracted driving. I guess if you fall asleep, that's considered distracted driving.
It's not good driving. It's
not
good
not
driving.
saying no.
Yeah.
Oh well.
That-
All right. Well, yeah, because it is winter, and it's going to take you longer to get wherever you're going when it's icy, snowy, windy, or cold. So just be careful.
I always tell people it's going to take you a heck of a lot longer if you end up in the ditch versus driving
Yeah.
45 and going slow. It's kind of like the tortoise and the hare race.
Right.
If you're the rabbit in the middle of the winter, you're gonna hit the ditch. You're gonna be stuck there for hours.
Just have the image in your head of someone huddled, leaning against their damaged car, waiting for the tow truck to come.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't be that person.
No. Great to see you, Kelby. Thanks for coming in today.
Thanks.
And don't forget, while we do have Crash Responder Safety Week next week, every week, you got to keep them safe. From MDOT, Kelby Wallace.